Lily Ann grew up in a small town in Louisiana, the kind of town where everybody knows your name, your mama's name, and exactly what you had for dinner last Tuesday. She was not supposed to struggle. She was the smart one, the one her teachers called gifted, the one her family pointed to with pride at every gathering. But at 34 years old, Lily Ann was sitting on the bathroom floor at 11:47 at night. The kids were asleep. The dishes were still in the sink. Her laptop was open on the counter with 3 unfinished client projects and 0 motivation to touch any of them. She was not lazy. She was not weak. She was just empty. And the worst part, nobody knew, because from the outside, she looked like she was holding it all together. If you love real stories about real people who find a way through the hardest parts of life, you might want to subscribe. No pressure at all. Just stay with me for now. Lily Ann was a single mom of 2, a 7-year-old girl named Cora and a 9-year-old boy named Miles, both full of energy, both needing everything from her at once. She worked from home as a freelance writer, no boss, no fixed schedule, no one telling her what to do or when to do it, and that freedom she once dreamed about had quietly become her biggest enemy. Some mornings she would wake up full of plans. By noon she had scrolled for 2 hours, answered 3 emails, and eaten cereal standing at the sink. Then the guilt would come in, then the shame, then the promise to do better tomorrow. But tomorrow always looked exactly like today. She was not failing because she lacked talent. She was failing because she had no structure, no anchor, nothing to hold her to the day before the day could pull her apart. The bills did not care about her burnout. The clients did not wait for her to feel inspired. And her children needed a mother who was present, not just physically in the room, but truly there. She was drowning quietly and smiling through all of it. One evening, her grandmother called. Her grandmother was 71 years old, sharp as a tack, and had raised 5 children alone after losing her husband at 38. Lily Ann made the mistake of being honest. She told her she felt stuck, that no matter how many times she tried to get consistent, she always fell apart after a few days. Her grandmother listened without interrupting. That alone was unusual. Then she said very slowly, "Lily Ann, baby, you are trying to light a fire in the wind." Lily Ann asked her what she meant. Her grandmother said, "Every time you try to build something, you start out in the open, no shelter, no walls around the flame. So the moment life blows, and life always blows, that little fire you worked so hard to start just goes out. You don't need more matches. You need to build a wall first." Lily Ann sat with those words long after the call ended. You don't need more matches. You need to build a wall first. The next morning, she tried something small. Just one rule, one single rule. Before she opened her phone, before she made coffee, before she helped the kids with anything, she would sit down and work for 45 minutes straight. No notifications, no exceptions, just 45 minutes. The first day was deeply uncomfortable. Her hands kept reaching for her phone like it was a reflex. Her mind kept pulling her in 10 different directions. She thought about the laundry. She thought about Cora's school project. She thought about everything except the work in front of her. But she stayed seated. She finished one article that morning, one full article that had been sitting in her drafts for 6 days. It took 41 minutes. She stared at the screen. Then she started crying. Not because it was perfect, but because she had done it. And she had done it before 8 a.m., before the noise, before the guilt, before the world got loud. She had protected the flame.
That moment taught her something she will never forget. Discipline is not about doing more. It is about protecting the one thing first, every single day, before the world gets loud, before the guilt creeps in, before the excuses line up at the door. You build a wall around that small flame. You guard it, you feed it, and slowly that flame becomes a fire that nothing can blow out. Because you stopped leaving it exposed. You stopped waiting to feel ready. You just built the wall and let the fire grow inside it. She did not overhaul her life overnight. She kept her one rule for a week, just 45 minutes every morning before the phone. In week 2, she added a second rule, no social media before noon. In week 3, she created a simple daily list, 3 tasks, not 10, just 3 that actually mattered for her work and her children. She stopped trying to be perfect. She started trying to be consistent. Some days she missed. The kids got sick. A deadline hit her sideways. Life blew hard. But she did not quit. She got back up the next morning without a long speech to herself, without drama. She just struck the match again, inside the wall she had built. That was the only rule. You miss a day, you do not quit. You just start again tomorrow. Same wall, same flame.
3 months later, Lillian had her best income month since starting her freelance career. She was sleeping better, laughing more at dinner with Cora and Miles, showing up to her work with something she had not felt in years. Confidence. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind. The kind that comes from keeping a promise to yourself over and over again until you finally believe you are someone who keeps promises. She was not a different person. She was the same woman from that small town in Louisiana who sat on that bathroom floor. But now she had walls around her flame. She had structure. She had direction. And the same energy that used to scatter and disappear was now burning steady and bright towards something real. Here is what Lillian's story teaches us. You do not need a completely new life. You do not need a perfect plan or a perfect morning or a perfect version of yourself to begin. You just need to stop lighting fires in the wind. Build one wall, one small rule, one protected space in your day that belongs to you and your growth before anything else gets to touch it. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection. It is the quiet, powerful decision to shelter your dream until it is strong enough to stand on its own. If this story stirred something inside you today, I want you to know there are more stories like this one right here. Stories about ordinary people who found extraordinary strength in the smallest decisions. If that is the kind of content that fills your cup, come and be part of this journey. Subscribe and grow with us. We are building something real here together. If this story reached you today, like it so it can reach someone else sitting on their own bathroom floor right now, wondering if they still have what it takes. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because the strongest version of you is not waiting for the perfect moment. That version of you starts today, right now, not tomorrow, today.